Welcome back to the Dfs Sweatshop, where I am your host, the Dfs Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course. You can follow me on Twitter at Dfs Jerusalem. Yo, we've got a ton to talk about. It's NFL kickoff week. Paul Harlish's cheap jack just went off. Fucking he called it. He called the cheap jack. He just hit it. It went off. I got the homie. Ronald Ice Coley. This dude is a lifesaver, bro. This dude on so many occasions has stepped up and like, yo, Mo, you can't be here. I got you, and it's led us to victory on quite a few nights. Shout out to the homie. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me, man. This is a good thing to do, and really looking forward to the show.
Now I know you got a Twitter. Tell me what it is so that I can pull it up, type it in, and people can follow you because you're tweeting some NFL stuff, working with us this year. So go ahead. What's the Twitter?
Mirage 5. Let me make sure. um, yeah, just Mirage at Mirage 5.
At Mirage Five.
Yep,
There it is, right there. You see him.
yep,
So
yep.
go to this Twitter, follow this cat, check him out. This is one of the DFS. All right. There's a ton of us. We are very strong. We are millions. Well, not really millions, but there's a lot of us, and we love DFS. We love at the sports, but most of all, man, we got love for each other, man, and we do this as a family. So, um, first things first. What's going on with your MLB, bro? How's that going tonight?
Well, I got in late from a birthday party, so I wasn't able to do the research needed. But so I'm hoping Arizona eventually does something. I had Escobar for a good jack, but hopefully Arizona and like the Dodgers I have come through, so that'll help out. So, but yeah, I picked Homer Bailey as my pitcher. He did okay, wasn't too bad, but and then Chris Sale, of course, is doing well, but I only had two lineups tonight. But so I'm really waiting on Arizona and see what the Dodgers do. So I mean, I know the Dodgers have been kind of cold lately, but I went with them anyway because I didn't like I said I didn't have much time to research, and I'm like, oh, it looks like they should do well tonight. So we'll see. So I'm really looking forward to NFL. That's what my heart has been set on the whole day.
I know
Just
that's right.
looking.
Well, right now I'm pretty much like I want to say I'm killing it. I'm doing pretty good. I've got a few lines in the four seamer. I think I rolled out like 10 lines, and I've got a cool sale line that's looking pretty good. I'm at 162 right now. I think I'm in 17th place in the 50K four seamer. Hopefully, that can do well. Currently, 6 7 times with buy-in, so I'm happy about that. Hopefully, I can finish the night strong. Yo, my top stacks for the day were who was it? I had Philadelphia, which is really good. I had help me refresh me. It was Philadelphia, Arizona.
White
Um,
Sox.
the White Sox were like the hedge joint. The White Sox was
Oh,
was the hedge joint. Yeah, it's Arizona was number one. Number two was Minnesota, who were getting kind of the ass whipped. Number three was the Mets. Number four was Philadelphia. Five was the Angels. And I told everyone any lineup that you did not have Samardzija in to stack Chicago White Sox. And I had like two or three lineups with no Samardzija, and I had many White Sox. All of them hit home runs. Avisel Garcia, Yomer Sanchez, Jose Abreu, like Tim Anderson. Everybody's hitting jacks. So those are the lineups that are doing really well for me today. Very happy about that. So
yeah, they were cheap too, man.
they were cheap, bro, and that I was able to get my Chris Sale on, bro.
Yeah, Chris Sale teaming up with his old teammates. So
So
yeah.
so let's go ahead. Let's jump into it, man. First, let me know what did you think about the first game of the season, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Patriots. What did you see in that game that we could have done better? Things we should have taken advantage of, aside from, of course, the Kansas City going ham. What do you see from a roster building standpoint?
Well, I mean, like I was really surprised at how Kareem Hunt. I mean, well, not surprised, but just how he took over the game. I mean, I don't think too many people saw that coming, but I mean, we all knew he would be, pretty good. But that, I mean, he really just took over the whole game after he had that fumble to start the game. He just really just went ham after that. So, and then Tom Brady being disappointing, not even a passing touchdown. So, I mean, I guess I mean, we'll see if that gets people off of Brady and the Patriots. But I really expect the Patriots to really come back next week and just kill the next opponent because they're going to be really salty about the whole that whole loss. And just, I mean, I don't think they hadn't lost the game at home, I think, for about a year or so, right?
Right, right.
It's been a while, yeah. So I mean, just to see that take place, and then you got Brandon Cooks, the receiver. I mean, it was nice to see him out there. He's finally going to have like a complete team around him where he can get the ball in space. So I'm really excited to see that. So I mean, yeah, Patriots. I mean, the Chiefs are for real, man. I mean, that is a good team. So it's not wasn't kind of totally surprising to see them win, but to see them win in that fashion was kind of surprising. So yeah,
And something that we do, man, in the sweatshop, we kind of pride ourselves on looking at DFS differently. And how whole thing started for me was I got tired of losing, and I was buying all these subscriptions to other people. I was listening to everything they were telling me to do, and I was playing the guys, and then I would lose my money, and I'd look at the top of the leaderboard. I'd be like, damn, dude, the motherfuckers you told me to play, they ain't even in your winning lineup, you know? And,
yeah,
and and that prompted me to, man, to be like a lone wolf, go out on my own, do my own testing, my own research. And what it taught me was that the people at the top, man, they were misleading us, misinforming us, so that they didn't want us to lean on what we had, our knowledge of the actual games and our knowledge of gambling, because that's exactly what it is. So um,
yeah,
something that well, I've come across that you may or may not agree with me. I want to get your take on this. Is the way we view our roster builds in terms of stacking players, because we look at that Kansas City game. You look at that Kansas City offense. The first thing that jumps out to you is the line movement, where they went from a 6-point underdog to a 9-point underdog. That means that at 6 points, everybody started betting on the Patriots. That's what that meant. So that
right,
so that meant if you got on the other side of the seesaw and it actually tipped over, you could kill it. So what that should have told us was that not only could we bet on the Kansas City Chiefs, that meant that we could roster some guys from that offense, right? And a lot of us missed on that. So we see a three-man stack, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, go completely off. And right now, for a Thursday to Sunday slate, there's people that are sitting pretty with 119 DraftKings points with 5 spots left to go.
yeah, yeah. I mean that Alex Smith. I mean, I don't expect him to do that well, like he did in that game. That was a bit of an anomaly, but certainly Kareem Hunt can do well. And I mean, Alex Smith, he's more of a, he can get the job done. I expect him to go to Travis Kelsey quite a bit more. So that's, so if you're looking at a stack, in the future, maybe he can get another opportunity where him, Kareem Hunt, and Travis Kelsey can actually be a good stack. Well, I mean, would you say that too?
Oh yeah, certainly, definitely, yeah, yeah. I mean, you look at what they want to do. I was watching the game, and they spoke about Alex Smith during the game wanting to become more of a complete passer, wanting to take shots down the field. They talked about them drafting the rookie was kind of a wake up call to Alex Smith, like, yo, we're drafting your successor if you do not develop into the kind of quarterback that we really want for the future going forward. So, um, yo,
Yeah, we got to hope Tyreek Hill is not hurt too. So
that's
I mean,
right.
I know he went out. Yeah, he went out. So hopefully he'll be back because he's a really big key to that offense.
Right, right. Well, we do have quite a few games to look forward to. Starting off Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock. We've got some pretty high point totals. Some with the line movements have moved on to a lower line movement. We see the Jacksonville and Houston game. I think the line was started at like 44, 43. Now it's down at 39. So how accurate uh, do you think some of the Vegas totals are going to be? And share with us a little bit of the information that you compiled in terms of how we can interpret the Vegas lines.
Well, I've been reading a book from Sharp Analysis Football, and basically what he's saying is the totals kind of like don't exactly follow the totals verbatim. Like don't just because it's a high total, don't stack from that game. Just don't think that these guys are going to go off because more often than not, the games from a lower total of 47 have seen more guys go off. So 47 total and under. Those a lot of guys from those games have went off, and what we're looking for as DFS players are top 6 to 12 in their position in order to take down a tournament. You need that. So and then obviously when you have these high totals, this is where the ownership is going to be concentrated at. So, maybe just taking a step down, maybe not the highest total of the week. Maybe you want to take a step down or two to maybe like this week you got Seattle and Green Bay at a total of 51 right now.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm not saying completely fade that game, but maybe go a step or two below, maybe to the 48s where you got Atlanta and Chicago, Arizona and Detroit, Philadelphia and Washington. You can get a couple of lower owned players probably in that game. So, and also what he was saying is the pricing on the site, on your site, FanDuel, DraftKings, is actually going to be it's going to be correlated more with fantasy scoring as opposed to the team totals or the Vegas totals. So that's interesting. Read that I saw, and I'm going to try to look at it more throughout the season to see how accurate that is. But I can see that because these team totals. I mean, what we want to look for, obviously, with a quarterback is a team like the highest team total or over total for the week for that game. For a quarterback, a home quarterback is seen to have the most correlated with higher fantasy points. So while he did agree that is the case for quarterbacks, but with things like running backs, wide receivers, we might want to take a step down from the high total games to try to get some lower owned people from that game.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. And of course, as we get a few weeks into the season, we're gonna see more trends develop. There's only so much we can take from last year and move on to this season, just because the movement in the NFL is kind of frequent. Players don't have a very huge shelf life. Guys trade teams. They move over to different teams. Like if you look at something as simple as targets. If you look at receivers and you see receiving target leaders from last season, I'm gonna give you a few of the names of the top targeted receivers, and and you can look at yourself at how quick these guys fell off. Okay, so Mike Evans, of course, #1 in targets, 175 targets last year. Odell Beckham, of course, you can expect that. Julian Edelman, third in targets. Now, first things first, we got to see how is this going to affect this season? Because Julian Edelman is out for the season. What does that mean?
Yeah.
That means somebody's going to get those targets, okay? Then you've got
Mm-hmm.
T.Y. Hilton, fourth in targets. Now, we know that you're not going to have Andrew Luck for a while. That's going to hurt T.Y. Hilton. Antonio
Right.
Brown, he's right there in targets. Jordy Nelson, 152 targets. Allen Robinson, the targets are he was 7th in the league in targets. Larry Fitzgerald, 8th in the league in targets. DeAndre Hopkins, Demaryius Thomas. So we see a lot of these, man. And what I'm looking for is a guy that was high on this list that the situation changed in his favor. Like I would say Jordy Nelson being 6th in the league in targets last year, it changed in his favor because he's going to see the entire season. He's going to be good. He's going to be fine. We look at DeAndre Hopkins. Do we think that his quarterback situation is better? Is that going to help him out? We look at Terrell Pryor. Now, he was 12th in the league in targets. Was that because he was on a bad team? Or do we see the targets increase because he's actually playing with a good quarterback?
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these changes. I know you mentioned Jordy Nelson. Man, that Packers team, that is a powerhouse. I mean, they got Martellus Bennett now. So they're really, I mean, they're going to be pretty hot, man.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, yo, without further ado, let's go ahead and chop up the games, man. I brought the Iceman on because he's a guy that doesn't always agree with me. He does not always agree with me. This dude has a mind of his own. He does not mind disagreeing with me. And you know what? Sometimes he's right. Right? So let's go ahead and chop it up, man. First game on the slate is going to be the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Game is in Buffalo. We got the Jets. They are an 8-point underdog, 8-point dog in this spot. And we've got Josh McCown against Tyrod Taylor. Are you interested in any quarterback in this game? Are you looking at some of the running backs, maybe a defense? Where would you be looking to in terms of rostering in this game?
Man, you know what? I I mean, I've been seeing a lot of Powell kind of love. People kind of thinking he's going to be like a sneaky play. I mean, the Jets. I mean, they're going to be bad. I mean, they're just going to be bad. So I think on most weeks they're going to struggle to get the 14, 20 points. So it's going to be a struggle every week. But can you unearth some kind of DFS play? I don't think so this week. I think Buffalo might be slightly better defensively, and I mean, I'm looking at Powell. I mean, he might be somebody that might make the player pool. The quarterbacks. I know some people were saying Tyrod Taylor might be a good play. I mean, like his price is still kind of up there. I mean, he doesn't. He's not a guy that's. I mean, when I look to get a quarterback, I'm looking for guys that can throw 3 touchdowns, get at least over 250 yards, give me a chance. And yeah, I just don't see that from McCown or Taylor. And then the running back situation, of course, LaShawn McCoy is going to be in play. He should be getting his. I think he's projected to have a usage rate from what I'm looking at of. Let me see. Yeah, he's projected to have a higher than 30% usage rate. So that's pretty good. So I mean, that's telling us right there that he's going to be running the ball quite a bit. As we know, he can break it at any time. So I think he might be the only one that I'm looking at personally from this game. I mean, I know some people are targeting the Buffalo Bills defense, and I mean that makes sense. New York Jets are going to be terrible offensively, so try to capitalize. So I mean, so yeah, possibly for me that would probably be the only two plays. Well, what are you seeing?
Now, the one place, see, me, you know me, I'm always looking for a correlation, man. And,
Yeah.
the most playable scenario I could think from this game is to grab some of the Buffalo Bills defense along with LaShawn McCoy. LaShawn McCoy is going to be fairly chalky. I see him and Todd
Mhm.
Gurley probably being two of the highest owned running backs on the slate. I can see that coming a mile away. You look at the Jets, the defense they just lost Sheldon Richardson. They still have Muhammad Wilkerson and a fairly decent defense against the run, but losing Sheldon Richardson is a big deal, a very big deal. And I see LaShawn McCoy, running all over them. You already know he has the green light to get all the touches, all the carries. So I like LaShawn McCoy, and where I like a running back, I'm automatically going to take a look at the defense because if what I'm saying is true, see, this is what I want y'all to understand. I want you to look at your lineup as you let's say the week is over. Let's say the week is over. The week is over. And you read your lineup out to me. Your lineup should tell a story of what happened that week. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And for me, the story would be LaShawn McCoy dominated, ran the ball a lot. The Buffalo Bills ate up time of possession. The defense was fresh every time they got on the field. And by being so fresh, because LaShawn McCoy was out there running around so much, they got sacks. They got a pick. They got three and outs. They actually held them to under 10 points. So if I like a running back, I'm going to like the defense as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, that definitely correlates. Running back and defense. That's definitely a good correlation point. I see I see a couple of the guys. Galen says McCown can be usable. He's a dud or a beast. So I guess that's somebody from McCown, just not me.
Yo, yo, anytime you get a quarterback under 4K, it's like tempting. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tempting.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
man.
I mean, he was McCown. I remember one week. Was it might have been like he said? Galen said one of the first few weeks. McCown was like he was in the winning GPP lineup,
Right.
and because he had a good game. But I can't see it here. I mean, I don't know, but we'll see.
To me, week one, man, it's too much meat on the bone, man. I can't get there. I can't get there.
Yeah, I got the spots. Yeah.
So moving on to the next game, you already said this is a game that you would pretty much fade. We got a 40 over under here. Me, I would like LaShawn McCoy and the Bills defense. Let's move on to the next game. You got the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears. We've got the Bears going to be at home. I really wish this game was in Atlanta because I would love for the season to start with the new opening of the new Atlanta Stadium after coming off of that huge loss in Super Bowl, then the Patriots losing in the first game. The Falcons would go ham at the crib, but unfortunately, they're in Chicago.
Yeah,
They're in Chirac.
yeah. They're in my hometown. What can I say? Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me what you see here, man.
Man, this game could go either two ways. These are my Chicago Bears. I love the Bears. And then we got a couple people in the Facebook Live saying, Glennon hype train. Uh, so yeah, I've been seeing a lot of love for Mike Glennon. This guy is not very good. I mean, Mitch Trubisky is going to be the quarterback sooner than later. I think by week 10 probably, but we'll see. Glennon, I mean, he's tempting at this lower price that you're seeing him at. I mean, basically, Atlanta is going to try to dare him to beat them through the air. So, I mean, if you want to just look at some possibilities, yeah, you could. Mike Glennon at quarterback, and then you got Jordan Howard. He's going to put up some rushes. At wide receiver, that's where things get a little bit dicey. Kevin White is looking to finally live up to his top 10 status and start doing something. And I hope he does, because that means, because with Meredith going down, now there's no number one wide receiver. So, Kendall Wright is another guy who's interesting. I think Mike Glennon had a very good rapport with him over the preseason. So, if anybody want to take a chance, Kendall Wright probably, of course, Jordan Howard. Zach Miller is always a threat. This guy, as long as he stays healthy, he is one of the I would say top 10 tight ends offensively in the league. So yeah, and then of course the defense. I mean, will they be able to stop Atlanta? No. I mean, and they might. And then what I'm looking at, they might bottle up Freeman because that run defense looks really good from the Bears. Now the pass defense is looking really suspect. So I can really see Julio Jones getting over 100 yards and at least one touchdown
Oh
in this
yes.
game.
Oh
Yeah.
yes. Oh yes. Now, I want to tell y'all where I think this Mike Glennon shit originated, bro. They're trying to throw him at us, man. Don't eat that shit, man. There's no fucking way I'm playing no Mike Glennon, man. Mike Glennon sucks. I'm not playing
Yeah.
Mike Glennon. Stop it. Yo, they sent that stuff out to us, man. Don't take the bait. I'm not playing no Mike Glennon. Yo, I love the Atlanta Falcons here. I think this is a very, very easy team to stack. You start out with Matt Ryan being priced under 7K, 6.9. You've got Devontae Freeman right at 7K. And these are guys that have the upside and the ability against a Chicago defense that's not very good. They're not great. They have the ability to go out and score more than everybody else on the slate. Yo, I love Devontae Freeman. Julio Jones is also in play. Tevin Coleman, if you wanted if you like say you wanted to get every rushing yard that the Atlanta Falcons get. You want every rushing yard. You want that to be added to your DraftKings score. You can play Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. You can do that. I've done it before. I did it last year against the Saints, and that was the best lineup I had last year. So this is one of the best offensive teams in football. 27.5 projected score here. I'm going to see them run over the Chicago Bears, and I got no issue playing a three-man stack from the Atlanta Falcons here, and just avoiding Chicago Cubs like the plague, man. Just avoiding.
So you're looking at so you would do with a Ryan Freeman and Jones stack?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely, man. That's yeah.
And if I wanted to get jiggy with it, because everybody's gonna want to play Julio. Yo,
Right.
this
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I want to go out on a limb, and I want to say that the top scoring receiver this week is gonna be a two-man. I think it's gonna be a number two. I don't think it's gonna be a number one. I think the top
Okay.
scoring receiver this week is gonna be a number two. I don't think so, and I got an idea who it's gonna be. We're gonna talk about that once we go inside the VIP. I don't think the top receiver this week is gonna be a number one.
Okay. All right.
All right, moving on to the next game. We've got the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals here. This is a 3-point spread here, man, with the Baltimore Ravens getting 3. Of course, we got Cincinnati at home. Yo, this is this is a pretty small point total, man. 41 is the point total here. We got Andy Dalton, 5.7. It's a pretty good price for Andy Dalton, and you got Joe Flacco at 5.5. Can these offenses move the ball in such a way that we could see grabbing some ownership to some of the skill position players from, because I know it's tough to look at AJ Green at 8K and have no desire to play him. It's tough.
Yeah, this you know what? And I think AJ Green actually had a good game. I think it was like 2 seasons ago where he had a big game against Baltimore. I can't remember which one it is exactly, but he did have a big game against Baltimore, like 2 touchdowns, like 150 yards receiving. So I really think that he's capable. I think with not Zach, Tyler Eifert being back, that's going to take a lot of the pressure off of him, and he can be able to get free a little bit. So although Andy Dalton is not a guy that throws for 3 touchdowns, I'm looking at his touchdowns over the past year. He never went for more than 2 touchdowns in a single game, all of last year. So that does kind of cap some of the upside, but certainly I think AJ Green is definitely play along with Tyler Eifert being 4,600. So that's what I would look at those two definitely. As far as Baltimore goes, Joe Flacco. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get out of him. I wouldn't trust him in this spot, especially since he was hurt in a way, and so he's going to play this game, I believe. So their running back situation. A lot of people were talking about Woodhead. I mean, he could get in, and at 5,200, he scores 2 touchdowns. That's definitely worth it. And as far as their tight ends, I don't even know any of these guys. So, and of course, the Baltimore defense is always sort of decent, but I kind of don't see them holding Cincinnati back. I see Cincinnati scoring in the 20s. So, what are those touchdowns going to come via AJ Green, or are they going to come via Mixon, the rookie running back? I don't know. So, but I definitely see AJ Green, I think, getting over 100 yards this game and at least 1 touchdown.
It's funny thing is nobody is talking about AJ, bro. And
Yeah,
as you were describing, and you look at Andy Dalton, AJ Green, Tyler Eifert, what a stack, what a stack.
yeah,
Dalton,
yeah,
AJ Eifert, yeah, oh yeah. You look at that, man. I might rock with that, B. I kind of like that.
yeah,
Because their running game is shaky. The running game is shaky. I mean, you're looking at Jeremy Hill, leading at 4.4. You look at the homie who Joe Mixon, who's a
yeah.
rookie. So, and maybe this game could exceed the point total, and we see a really solid one, man. I kind of like AJ Green here, man. Now that you talked about it, I do.
Oh,
Oh, and
yeah,
on the other side, I'm not going to be on Baltimore guys. I'm not.
yeah, yeah. I don't see anything there. It's just you just can't trust that squad right now. We got to see a little bit more from them.
Now let's move on to the chalk. Okay, we've got the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, -9. They're giving up 9 points to the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have gotten worse. Is Robert Griffin starting at quarterback?
Yeah, let's see. I don't believe so. I think what's his name? Kaiser is starting.
Deshaun Kaiser is starting at
Yeah,
quarterback. Oh my
yeah, yeah. That's a recipe for a loss.
God. The only person that I could even have, somebody was talking about Sammy Coates' revenge. Like, no, man, no. the
No,
the only person that I could even see like remotely looking at is maybe Duke Johnson, because for a young quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience, man, he can be an easy check down to Duke Johnson, or maybe some Gary Barnage. Maybe I don't see where I want to play cats like Kenny Britt or Corey Coleman yet, or even Sammy Coates. I don't see that yet. Um, and then you've got the Pittsburgh offense, which has been a juggernaut. Everybody is going to want to have some exposure here. People say that Ben Roethlisberger doesn't play well away from the crib, but it's against the Cleveland Browns, bro. It's against the Cleveland Browns. What do you
yeah,
think? What do you think?
yeah. You know what? And I had a conversation with a couple of the guys uh, about especially Sam about just kind of telling him about how bad Ben Roethlisberger is going to be of a play. But I mean, look, I mean they should steam the Browns here. I mean, you're looking at Le'Veon Bell probably being top three scorers this week, along with Antonio Brown. I mean, true Brown has been shut down. Let's see, his last game at Cleveland. I mean, it was a 76-yard no touchdown performance. Yeah, I mean, we all know that they're better at home, but I mean, it's you got to put them in play. If you're making multiple lineups, you just have to.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Now,
yeah, I mean, yeah, Cleveland's defense won't be able to stop them. They're going to get 20 at least. So at least 27. So
and I don't think anything's wrong with a Roethlisberger, Brown, Bell stack, or Roethlisberger, Brown, Roethlisberger, Bell, Eli Rogers stack. I don't think anything's wrong with that. I mean, this is a high powered offense, man. It's 3rd and 2, and they're going 5 wide. Like they sling the ball all around the field. Ben is extending plays, running around. I would say it's no problem. You could play those cats. That's not a problem at all. Next game we got is going to be one of my favorite games of the week, man. Is Arizona Cardinals and the Detroit Lions here. Yo, the line has moved in this game, man. It went from I think a 4-point 4-point to Detroit is now it's over -2.5 to Arizona. You've got Carson Palmer here, David Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, a guy that we just talked about being high in targets last year, J.J. Nelson, John Brown, a very potent offense in a dome, 48-point total. Two teams that are not great defensively in terms of against the pass. What do you think can be done here?
yeah, so we'll hold on a second. That was the I was I was looking at the Facebook here about they said Palmer, DJ, and Fitz stack for the win. Get some John Brown. Yeah, the I know a lot of people are going to be on this Palmer. This Fitzgerald is always pretty good at the start of the season. So of course, Johnson is going to be, he's going to be Johnson. He's going to be worth it. Top 3 scorers in the week. So Detroit, as you know from last season, they give up points. They're just going to give it up. So I could easily see, with them kind of regrouping and coming back this year, I can see Arizona getting 30 in this game. So I think like a Palmer, David Johnson, and Fitzgerald stack would be pretty cool. And I know someone just mentioned Julian Wilson said Fitzgerald in the slot is fire. So, and I agree. At least in the first few weeks. So,
and bro, this in Atlanta, man, the Arizona Atlanta, they're making it so easy for you to stack them because the centerpiece of the stack, of course, is the quarterback who can affect multiple positions. They're so cheap. I mean, you're getting Carson Palmer at 6K. You can get Matt Ryan at 6.9. Like these guys are very cheap, and at some point in the season, they could be upwards of 7-8K.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, on the other side, you got Matthew Stafford. I mean, he's always a threat to put up some numbers. As far as the running back goes, I think is Abdullah supposed to be their top back?
No, it is Theo Riddick. Theo Riddick is going to be the top back. He's really a threat coming out of the backfield, catching the football as well. So
yeah,
they're gonna see a lot of Theo Riddick.
Yeah. Chris just mentioned don't sleep on J.J. Nelson. So Nelson is a good prospect. I think this is his second or third year. He's a speedy guy, so he can definitely in terms of upside, you can definitely use him. I wouldn't be opposed to using him. So yeah. Then Glenn says Marvin Jones.
There he goes. Somebody said it.
Yeah, Marvin Jones. I mean, he's a guy that you saw him last year. How he just he just went off the first few weeks, and then he just kind of just fell to the wayside after that. But yeah, I think this might be another instance where he kind of starts off really strong, and because they always like to involve him, and then I mean, in this offense, you're looking at as far as receivers, you're just looking at him and Tate. So, and Matthew Stafford loves to throw the ball, and I'm seeing here that Tate and Jones, supposed to be the projected target leader. So, definitely Detroit. They're going to put up some points. So and then they're at home too. Maybe a stack of Stafford and Riddick, and of course Jones or Tate would be pretty good.
I love Marvin Jones, bro.
Yeah.
If I had to pick who my favorite point per dollar receiver was, like right now, my favorite point per dollar receiver, it would be Marvin Jones. I love him in this matchup. I really do. I'm gonna have some Marvin Jones.
Curtis Nickerson called him Baby Megatron. I don't know about that, but
So and Dex says John Brown is fourth on the Arizona depth chart behind J.J. Nelson and Jerron Brown. That's why I talked a little bit about J.J. Nelson. I mean, he's a guy that has incredible quickness,
oh yeah,
always running that slant route. Like him. I like him.
oh yeah, yeah.
Next game we got is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. Yo, the first thing that jumps out to me in this game is the Texans defense. You've got J.J. Watt. You got Clowney. Them cats already raised like almost $30 million for the hurricane relief in Houston. The city is gonna want to play. I mean, they're gonna want to play well for the city. It's a narrative here. So I love the Houston Texans defense, and that made me look at their running game, and you see Lamar Miller priced at 5.1. I kind of like it.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I can see that definitely. I mean, you would look at that narrative that they're gonna come out and play strong for the team. You know, for the city with all that's going on. You see it happen quite often, so I could definitely see it happening. But Jacksonville's defense, people are kind of sleeping on them. They are a good defense, and they have the ability to shut you down. They have elite cornerbacks there, so. If something's gonna happen, it's gonna have to happen through Lamar Miller. I believe he's scheduled to have some pretty high usage in that game. So yeah, he's got top. I'm looking at top 6 projected usage for amongst all the running backs. So definitely he's in play. What do you think about the quarterback situation there? I guess it's supposed to be. Is it supposed to be Watson there or
No, they're gonna start. It's gonna be Tom Savage, and Tom
okay.
Savage is a capable quarterback. He's not a quarterback that I want to play or that I have tremendous amounts of faith in. He's a guy that is going. He's gonna first look to C.J. Fedorowicz, and if C.J. Fedorowicz isn't open, he's gonna look to Lamar Miller. And that's why I like Lamar Miller. Lamar Miller will be involved in not only the running game, of course, but he will also be involved in the passing game. Tom Savage is not very great, not very good. So I have
Yeah.
no issue playing Lamar Miller, getting some of that Texans defense. On the other side, Fournette was the guy that I was going to take a look at, but after what happened in Houston, the events there, no way I'm going to play any of the Jacksonville guys here. They're actually a 5-point dog in the situation. I get it; it makes perfect sense. I'm going to be playing the Houston D, Lamar Miller. I don't think people are gonna make that correlation. I think people are gonna be on the Texas defense. They should be the chalk. Them and the Rams seem like the chalk defenses on the slate, but I don't think people are gonna be on Lamar Miller here.
Yeah. I definitely see him being. I mean, whenever you look at these slates, you're going to see who the top 2 is going to be like Bell and Johnson every week, and then when they're not on the slate, it might be someone like McCoy. So definitely Lamar Miller, I believe, is definitely going to go under owned in this situation.
And if you like put a gun in my head and say who is a DTD, like who's gonna be the defensive touchdown, who's gonna score a defensive touchdown, I would say the Houston Texans this week will score a defensive touchdown. I am almost certain they will.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to go out on a limb like that, but I'm almost certain they will.
Well, I mean, you got Blake Bortles out there passing to the other team, so it's bound to happen. So yeah.
All right. Next game we
Yeah.
got is going to be the Tampa. Nope, that is not next game. Tampa Bay and Miami. Now there's been no word on this one yet, right? Like the game is postponed. Like they're not going to be playing the game, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, for sure. I think they moved it back to week 11. So instead of a bye week, they're going to be playing that week. So unfortunately for the team, which I know the bye week definitely helps these guys heal up. That's going to be tough on them. But I mean, these are the circumstances you can't control. So yeah, they're going to be playing week 11.
Right. Okay, so let's move on. Next game we got is one I know a lot of folks like this one, man. Oakland, Tennessee, the chalk quarterback for the slate. I've heard some of the larger sites talk about him, and they love him. They're drumming him up. Marcus Mariota priced at 6.8. I'm so glad everybody loves Mariota. That's gonna take them off of my Matt Ryan. Thank you so much, because I'm not on him. I'm not on. I'm not. I don't love Mariota here. I understand why people do, but this is just not. I think this is a game that's gonna dud out. I don't think we're gonna see a huge scoring output from either team in the spot. So we've got DeMarco Murray, which would probably be Murray and Delaney Walker, I think would be the best places for me to go. But I wouldn't go to both of them at the same time. I would go to one or the other. On the other side, I think I could play some Michael Crabtree at 6K. I kind of like him. And I don't love Derek Carr at 6.7. I just don't love this game the way everybody else does.
So let me ask you this: what makes you not like it? I mean, Oakland is not very good defensively, and I mean, true, they don't have. I mean, they have Eric Decker now, the Tennessees. So I think he's going to become a big favorite of Mariota. You know, Mariota can run it in. I mean, I'm going to go the opposite way of you. I think Tennessee can they put up a lot of points here? I mean, like I can see Decker scoring 2 touchdowns here, and you know Delaney Walker is just a beast, and Mariota can run one in. So, and then not only that, you have DeMarco Murray. This team looks like a very big powerhouse, in my opinion.
For me, I hate depending on young quarterbacks this
Okay.
early in week one, early in the season to go out and give me a barn burner for the ages. And that's what everybody is touting this game as. Like, oh, they're going to score 60 points. It's going to be crazy. Mariota's going to throw some, run some in. Derek Carr just got the big contract. He's going to score a ton of points. And I don't think I just don't have, I have a feeling that's not what's going to happen. I think there are pieces of the game that make a lot of sense to grab. Guys like Michael Crabtree, I think, are going to get, a ton of targets. I like him more than I like Amari Cooper, actually. And of course, Delaney Walker, one of the better tight ends in the league, a really nice safety valve for Marcus Mariota, and maybe some DeMarco Murray. But when you got DeMarco Murray, bro, you don't want to run your quarterback around all day long. So if I had to play anybody on either side, it'd be DeMarco Murray or Delaney Walker, and it would be Mike Crabtree on the other side.
Okay. Well, you got a couple people agreeing with you here. Galen says, "Yeah, bro, I don't see Marcus Mariota as this guy that is going to go off." And then Dexter Pope says both cornerbacks for both teams are sorry. And I mean Dexter. That's what I'm looking at. I mean I don't this none of these defenses can stop anybody. Oakland. I mean Cooper. He's gonna have his way. I don't know how Marshawn Lynch is gonna work out. I think he's slow. I mean he doesn't look very good. I mean, I don't know there, but I think these wide receivers, still got Crabtree doing well. Cooper, Derek Carr. I think he's a good quarterback. So, yeah, these teams cornerbacks are going to be tested in this game. And I personally, I can see this game going over 50. To be honest with you.
Now, the one thing I can give you, okay, even though Marcus Mariota only scored 7.6 fantasy points last time out, against Oakland. The one thing I can give you is Oakland is like one of the worst teams in the league against tight ends. So that does bode well for, like we said, Delaney Walker, which does bode well for Marcus Mariota. Let's go ahead and move on to the next matchup. We got the Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Redskins, 48-point total. I'm going to shock you because I think this is the game we're going to see a lot of points. I think we're going to see a lot of points in this game. Both quick strike offenses, got a couple of new pieces that we really don't know how they're going to work out, which is why I think it's going to be one of the lower-owned games on the slate. You got LeGarrette Blount, who I don't think is going to be as much a part of the offense as other people think. I think you're going to see a lot more of the other Darren Sproles. You're gonna see a lot more Darren Sproles. You add Alshon Jeffrey to the mix. You've got Zach Ertz going to be the chalk at tight end. Carson Wentz. I kind of like Carson Wentz for the cheapie.
Okay. And I can certainly see that with this game. I'm just a little concerned about Carson Wentz's ability to. I mean, he's got some good weapons now. Don't get me wrong. But especially with Jeffrey now, that's going to help him tremendously. But I'm kind of concerned. He never threw over 2 touchdowns last year. So can he take that next step? I mean, a lot of people seem to think he can. I think he's a talented guy. He can do it. But this game could be a shootout. Kirk Cousins, is really going to be out there throwing the ball around. I think his running back is Robert Kelly, right? And he showed a lot of promise late last season. Zach Ertz, as you said, on the other side for Philadelphia is good. And Jordan Reed, as long as he can stay healthy, the guy is going to score touchdowns. So, like you said, this could be a big scoring game. To be honest with you.
Now, what I do like about Wentz is being priced down to 5.3,
Yeah.
being in a spot where people are not really looking at him a lot. He's not gonna have to do much to actually make some value for me. One thing, watching some tape on him, he's a guy that misses high. When he misses receivers, he misses high, and I think that Alshon Jeffrey being there, 5.8, kind of like that. Big
Oh yeah.
receiver, can kind of go up and get it. I think that's gonna help Carson Wentz to complete the passes a little bit down the field. I kind of like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Now that you mentioned that, that's a good point. His touchdown numbers better go up. I can tell you that.
Now, now, now,
So
now, now Terrell Pryor on the other side. Now he's priced up at 6.1. What do you think about Terrell Pryor with Kirk Cousins?
yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a good combination with Jordan Reed out there taking a lot of the attention from the defenses. We saw what Terrell Pryor did last year with Cleveland. Several big games. So he is going to be improved, obviously, with a better quarterback. In this situation with Washington. So I can see him putting up some numbers. The Philadelphia cornerbacks, from what I understand, are decent. So he might get a little bit of you know uh, just people stopping him, but I think he still should be okay.
Right.
So yeah,
I agree. And Kurt Nick says, how are we sleeping on Cousins? And like I said, man, I kind of like Cousins here. I like this game altogether. I like this game because I like that people aren't really talking about it a lot. So I think there's some exposure to be had here. Let's move on to the next game. We've got the Indianapolis Colts and the Los Angeles Rams. We've got a 41.5 point total here with the Colts scheduled to score 18.5. Then we got 23 over here for the Rams. There's no Andrew Luck. I think it's Scott Tolzien is going to be the quarterback. You got Frank Gore here. T.Y. Hilton, 6.9. I don't love Indianapolis. I don't love the quarterback situation. Don't like the running game. Not going to have exposure here. On the other side, I think those items we just mentioned puts the Rams in play. And you look at Todd Gurley and how chalky he could be here. What are your thoughts on the Rams and how they could affect the defense could affect the Indianapolis Colts here?
well, I tell you what, if Todd Gurley doesn't score 2 touchdowns with 100 yards, he got to be ashamed of himself because this defense is ripe for the picking. I mean, he's at home. His team, the game script looks like it's in his favor. So if and this situation just set up perfectly for him to score 100. I mean, you get 100 yards and score 2 touchdowns at least. So I'm looking for that at least from him. I mean, if you look at all the projections as far as running back, he's in the top 5 of most of them, and they project him to score near a touchdown. So, I agree with that. The defense of Indianapolis, they won't be able to stop too many people, especially not someone like him. Especially the fact that the Rams know they have to get better. I mean, Jeff Fisher is the coach. I hate Jeff Fisher's coaching style, but he knows he has to get better. So I believe you're going to see a better effort from that team. As far as Jared Goff goes, I'm looking to see some improvement for him. Obviously, he was drafted very high the previous year, #1 pick. So he needs to get better, and I think it starts this year. He's going to see some improvement. The problem is at wide receiver, Sammy Watkins. I know I'm hearing a lot of people talk about him. I'm not quite sure if how Goff is going to get him the ball early, but if they can get the running game going, that will open up a lot of good running lanes for him. So I mean, would you be against maybe Goff, Gurley, and Watkins stack?
Yo, before I heard anybody say anything, before I heard anybody say anything about the about hey baby, before I heard anybody say anything about the Rams and what could happen, I instantly liked Goff at 4.8, price very cheap. He has the best protection that a young quarterback can have, with a solid running game and a really decent defense that can get him the ball back. 4.8, very cheap price on him. I think I could get behind him. I would like him, Gurley, and Sammy Watkins maybe as a very, very just a cheap stack that would allow me to pay up. See, I can go Goff, Gurley, and Sammy Watkins, and then grab Lev Bell and grab Julio Jones and still feel comfortable about a lineup that I'm rolling out. So I will have some exposure, maybe maybe a stack of the Rams here with Goff, Gurley, and Sammy Watkins. But I do have a ton of Gurley. I don't think it's hype. The dude is really good, man. His
Yeah.
his first season, man, was not a fluke, man. This dude is a beast, and it was just so bad that they stacked the box on him. And with Sammy Watkins on the field, a guy that can kind of stretch it a little bit, maybe they can take some of the pressure off of him, and he can go out and run the ball effectively.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Reg. Yeah, they just mentioned. See, this is how much Jeff Fisher got in my head with Todd Gurley last year. All the misuse. Yeah, Jeff Fisher is not even the coach there
No,
anymore.
he's gone. He's gone.
So yeah, that was my fault. But yeah, I really see a step up for the Rams this year. And they have to take that step. They're just too talented. So they have to be better than last year.
All right. Let's move on to the next game. You've got the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers here. This is a 51-point total. We've got the Seattle Seahawks as a 3-point dog here. Russell Wilson, 6.9, man. Same price as the homie, man. Same price as Matt Ryan. Right now, quick question. Russell Wilson or Matt Ryan? Who'd you take?
Matt Ryan definitely. Even though the Green Bay defense is very poor, I don't believe that Seattle's offensive line has improved enough. So I need to see that. I need to see this improvement that they're talking about before I go and choose Russell Wilson over Matt Ryan. But don't get me wrong, Russell Wilson should have a good game. I mean, if you look at the projections, he is at this one. This one I'm looking at. He's number 2 overall. He's the overall 2 quarterback. So obviously there's something there, and I think that's basically due to the bad defense of Green Bay. Baldwin. I can definitely see a Russell Wilson, Baldwin stack. If you want to go that route, I mean the running back situation is a little bit dicey for Seattle. I mean Eddie Lacy, the guy is just he's gone. He's just not going to be that good. So and of course Jimmy Graham is always a threat. On the other side, I mean, come on, Aaron Rodgers, he's going to throw his at least 250 and 3 touchdowns. Who the touchdowns are going to, I really don't know, because now you got Adams, you got Nelson and Cobb. Okay, those are 3 very good receivers. Who is going to get the balls? I just don't know. So and now you got Martellus Bennett added to the mix. There's just too much talent on this team to for him not to throw 4 touchdowns. So I don't care if Michael Sherman is back there. He's going to look the other way. They're going to get somebody open. Could Jordy Nelson be that guy that scores the 2 touchdowns? I think Sherman is probably going to be on him. So I would be looking at Randall Cobb, actually. And that Randall Cobb is my sleeper as opposed to Devontae Adams.
Now, and that's interesting point you bring up, because we look at what the Seattle Seahawks do defensively, cover 2 all day long. They have a left cornerback and a right cornerback. Nobody shadows anybody. And I think you're going to see some scheming to get some guys open. The first name that pops out to me is going to be a guy like Randall Cobb. Maybe because most of the time they're in 3 wide receiver sets anyway. So you got Randall Cobb, and you've also got Martellus Bennett, because we know the Seattle Seahawks are very weak against tight ends. I have no issue playing those guys. For me, this could be that game stack that we're looking at. When I have Russell Wilson, I have Doug Baldwin, I've got Jimmy Graham, and then I have a pass catcher from the other side, or even vice versa. I've got Aaron Rodgers, Jordy Nelson, Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Martellus Bennett, or Randall Cobb, and then I go on the other side and grab Doug Baldwin too. I don't have no issue doing any of that.
Yeah, that's a good correlation play to actually get that opposing wide receiver on the other side of that high scoring game. So yeah, I like that call a lot. I see a lot of people are saying Sherman is past his prime. That's what Joey says. And I see somebody mentioning Ty Montgomery, and Ty Montgomery is going to be an interesting guy because he can obviously catch balls. He's a former wide receiver converted to a running back. He can catch balls out of the backfield. He can run the ball too. We saw him run very effectively. And I mean, even in the last game against Seattle, he had a touchdown. He caught some balls. So yeah, I mean, this guy can definitely do it all. So we'll see. I mean, his price is at least on FanDuel, looks a little bit maybe a little too high, but I mean, I still wouldn't be opposed to it.
Right. Well, let's go move on to the next game. This is my favorite game, or my favorite offense is coming from this game. We've got the Carolina Panthers going to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 47.5 point total here. The Panthers are slated to score 26.3. We've got 21.3 on the other side for the 49ers here. My favorite offense this week, my number one stack offense of the week, is the Carolina Panthers. I love them in so many ways. I can go Cam, Stu, Kelvin. I can go Cam, Kelvin, Greg Olsen. I can go Cam, McCaffrey. Oh, I mean, I can go anywhere I want to go, and I love this game, bro. I love Cam. Yo, if you look at what happened to Cam at the beginning of last season, when he got knocked around by the Denver Broncos defense, man, on
Yeah.
that first game of the season, that was bad. That was
Yeah.
bad. I think Cam was humbled. He comes out with a vengeance, and I really see him have a wonderful, wonderful week this week. The best.
Yeah, so I mean, so it sounds like you're kind of into Christian McCaffrey a little bit. You think he's gonna get some usage?
Now I've got like 6 Cam lines. I'm calling them Cam lines, and
Okay.
I've split the difference between McCaffrey and Stewart. You know, I've got 3 McCaffrey, 3 Stewart.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I even heard that they made some plays especially for McCaffrey.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, we'll see how that works out. But I mean, like you said, I'm really looking for Cam Newton to. I mean, last time out against this team, he had. I'm looking at it now, 353 yards passing. Granted, that was at home, but still, this is a similar team almost. I really see Cam Newton, like you said, he was humbled last year. He was getting knocked around, and I think he's gonna be out for revenge this year. And like at 7,900 on FanDuel, I think that's a decent price for him.
Oh yeah. Now
Yeah.
on DraftKings the price is what, 7K. Yeah, the price is 7K on DraftKings, and he had 34.82 last year, week 2 against the 49ers. I love me some Cam this year. I'm all on Cam Newton this year. I love him, love him a lot.
Yeah, he runs. And now he's one of those guys too that you can go naked Cam in a lineup. I don't suggest that all the time, but if you do want to go naked with somebody, go naked with Cam. Not literally, but
If you want to go,
naked.
you heard it here. If you want to go naked with somebody, go naked with Cam.
Right. He's one of those guys you can do it with because he's gonna run. He can run for a touchdown, pass. The only question mark is Benjamin. I mean, I know he was a little out of shape. I'm hoping that he can get round himself back into condition and get this team back on the right track.
Now I have heard some talk about Carlos Hyde this week. A lot of folks are saying they could get behind him. Me, I personally like some of the Carolina defense, so I won't be having much exposure to Carlos Hyde, if at all. What do you think about him? I mean, you look at this offense altogether, man. It's a pretty bad offense. Like I don't think I can play anywhere along the lines here.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Brian Hoyer. He is the quarterback that is like you see him put up like 325 yards and only have like one touchdown. I mean, he's like one of those guys that just looks kind of decent, but really isn't. He doesn't get the job done when it comes down to it. So I mean, Carolina's defense has taken some hits. Obviously, they're not going to be the same, but still, they obviously have enough for San Francisco here, and I can see. I don't really see. I mean, Pierre Garcon is a good wide receiver, so we have to see how that little tandem works with Brian Hoyer. But yeah, I just don't see more than like 17 points out of this team. So that's not going to be enough to win you a tournament, I don't believe.
And something I want you all to understand, man, as Chad Pender hits a home run on a 2-1 count, something I want y'all to understand, okay, is the people that are targeting you for information. They know that you know football. They know it's the most watched sport. They know you probably already have a good idea. Most of your first mind, the first thing most of you think about in terms of who to play with football, it's probably the good shit. It's probably good. And what their focus is to throw names at you and jumble you up and take you off of the good shit that's already in your head that you woke up with. Me, I'm here to reinforce that. I'm here to reinforce that. That's what we're here to do in the sweatshop. We know football, bro. We know sports. All we want to do is get in touch with, the the storylines, the outliers, the Vegas lines, things like that to assist us and aid us in our roster build. And also, just a simple fact that we know what this is, man. What we're doing is we're saying, yo, this team is going to score a lot of points. These 3, 4, 5 teams are going to score a lot of points this week. Let's get as much exposure as we can to these few teams.
Yeah. Yeah, and John brings up some have talked up Garcon, and yeah, I've heard a lot of that too. And Galen says Hyde and Pierre are going to be good. Y'all sleeping on Hoyer? Well, you know what? Hoyer has to show me a lot more than what he did last year, and what he did last year looked on the surface like, oh, he's 350 yards, but only one touchdown. He has to be better. So I mean, hey, if he can show me that, I'll be more than willing to roster him. But I just don't know about this game. So
Right. Well, we do have one more game on this Sunday slate, and of course, it's my pleasure, it's my honor, it's my privilege to introduce you all to New York Football Giants Stadium. We're not going to be here. We're going to be in Dallas, taking on the Cowboys. They do have Zeke, and we've got the Giants are a 4.5-point dog after kicking this team's ass twice last year, but I'm not going to complain about that. So we got the Cowboys 26-point total, with the Giants getting 21.5. Eli Manning, Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, no running back for the Giants here. What do we? A hobbled Odell Beckham. Do the Giants have a chance to score points in this game, or what? Like, what is the issue with this game?
man, this is a question mark because Eli, for some reason, he plays well in Dallas. I think. I mean, last time out at Dallas, at the beginning of last season, he did have a decent game. He threw for 3 touchdowns. He did an interception, but he had a decent game. They won that game, but for some reason, he always seems to kind of pull a game out in Dallas. So we'll see. Like you said, what running back is going to step up for the Giants? Right now, I'm looking at projected usage of let's see. They're saying that Perkins is going to be the top usage running back, and I don't see much of that either. So this is going to be a huge question mark. I mean, Odell, he stands as questionable tag. And if I were them, I wouldn't play him. I mean, you got to get this thing healed. He is your top guy. You have to have him healed. So if he doesn't play, I think Brandon Marshall will be in for a good run. Sterling Shepard is a really good receiver. This is his second year. I'm looking for him to make a upward climb there. So if they're without Odell, and without a running game, that's going to be tough. But who knows? Maybe this Perkins can do something. I mean, we'll see. I mean, people are talking him up, not people in DFS, but like NFL scouts. They say he's pretty decent. So we'll see. On the other side, I mean, this team, Dallas, they're powerhouse. Prescott, Elliott has got his suspension kind of thrown away for a while. Dez Bryant, yeah, I don't see how the Cowboys don't win this game.
I can see how they don't win. 2 times last year, they don't win. But now I'm gonna give it to you. Okay. New York, the Giants' running back situation is definitely suspect. But we know one thing we can see is that if you can't pass block, if you can't catch the ball in the backfield, you're not going to be starting for the Giants. So that kind of puts me on Paul Perkins and Eli Manning. I do not want to play Odell Beckham Jr. in any shape this week. I don't really love Brandon Marshall. I think Sterling Shepard is going to be the way to go. Maybe a mix of Sterling Shepard with the rookie tight end. I think they're going to want to get him involved. He could be a really solid play. On the other side, you look at Ezekiel Elliott and what's going to be required of him to get to the Giants' second level of the defense, and that's getting through some really solid defensive tackles, man. So while Ezekiel Elliott, I don't think he's going to be shut down to the point to where he doesn't have a 70-yard game and a touch. But I don't foresee a huge game from Ezekiel Elliott here. I don't foresee that. And Dak Prescott, second year, the tapes out on him. We've got a pretty good scheme to suppress a quarterback like him. We've shown it the last couple games. I'm not too much on the Cowboys, bro. I'm really not. If I had to pick any Cowboy that I would play, it would definitely be Ezekiel Elliott. But aside from that, I don't love the Cowboys here. Prescott,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I mean, the Giants up front are pretty good, and they're going to slow down. They're going to slow them down regardless. But can Prescott get the ball to Bryant? And Jason Witten, although he's old, he's still effective. So I can see him. They get in the red zone, him being the target. So we'll see. I mean, we got a couple people saying New York Giants D is the play.
I'm gonna go.
And
I was gonna go a little step further, and the Giants D is the play to me.
yeah, that's what Glenn says, and then let's see, yeah, they say no way Zeke gets 200. Oh yeah, of course, yeah,
Yeah, that's a hell of a bet right there.
yeah. So so yeah, I mean Jeffrey says, have you seen the Dallas offensive line? Yes, yeah, we have, and that's what I'm saying. I think that they're going to do a little bit better than Mo thinks they are. But yeah, I mean this might be a close game, but we'll see.
Yeah, we saw the Dallas offensive line twice last year. We saw them twice
Yeah.
last year. And Ezekiel Elliott had 8.7 points the first week 14, and in I believe week 1 he had 10.2. Yeah, we saw them twice.
Mhm. Yeah, but I tell you what, Elliott, he will have an extra pep in his step because of this whole thing. I mean, I know the whole case has been kind of thrown away for a while. I think is it for the whole year? I believe that the whole thing's been kind of pushed aside. His case.
The dude didn't do it, man. Leave the fucking man alone. Let the man play football, man. This is ridiculous what they're doing to Zeke, man. And this is coming from a Giants fan. And Zeke had 13.7 week 14, and in week 1 against us, he had 12.2. Yeah, I think it's while it's in arbitration or while it's in litigation, he's gonna be allowed to play. And I think they're gonna push it off to the point to where if he does have a service suspension, it'll probably be next season or something. So I
Yeah,
think I think I
yeah,
think I think I think Zeke should be good to go, man. But that's a very unfortunate situation that he did find himself in. So, we did chop up the entirety of the slate, man. We rolled through it. Me and the homie Ronald Ice Coley, who you can go and follow him on Twitter. Go check him out, man. Really solid cat. It's Mirage5 is who he is on Twitter. We are going to close down this segment for our YouTube family. We'll be going behind the wall in the Facebook VIP where we will build some lineups for tomorrow, man. So definitely appreciate you all coming out and joining us here on YouTube, man. We will see you. I'm gonna come back Sunday night. Well, no, actually Monday night. And we're gonna chop it up and to kind of review the week, see what we missed on, what we hit on, and then go forward and chop up the rest of the next week. So, big shout out to the homie, man. Telling people something, man.
Hey guys, happy that this NFL season has started. You all go out there and make some money, and let's get it going. You know.
Now, my number one thing I want you to do, bro, I want you to keep it 300, man. Peace. We will see y'all next time out. We out.